Derek Harper, and the bench with Hubert Davis just getting back into action. Also slow to get back. So the Knicks have not gotten much out of the backcourt. Mason hits the jumper, and the Knicks lead 2-0.
Matchup they want to games, but to do it on a given night, it's going to take some adjustment on their part.
Well, you mentioned Shaq, who's out of action. Mason with his second basket. Penny Hardaway came up big in November. Koncak, of course, is going to have to.
Yeah, he's going to have to. He's going to have to deliver in a lot of ways. One, he's going to have to make shots.
Harper with a stop and go. This is the short jumper. Rebound, Koncak. Here's Penny Hardaway. Knicks back defensively, however. It's 7-1 in favor of New York, and a three-point basket is good by D.Scott.
And the Magic
9-5 lead. You notice that Anthony Mason brings the ball up against the pressure, but when there isn't the press, the Knicks want the ball in the hands of the guards. A fine turnaround. Mason posting up now against Nick Anderson. H.Grant with a rebound. Score is tied at 9, 6.5 to go in the opening period, and H.Grant has hit from the perimeter and from the field. Tied at 11. Penny Hardaway. Koncak with a screen. They get it out to Grant, shooting over Oakley, and Grant is 2 for 2 from the perimeter. And the Magic lead 7. And we have our third tie at 13 as we get close to the 4-minute mark of this first quarter. Baseline, quick shot by Hardaway. Penny trying to get. Well, here's Tyra Banks, who's one of the supermodels, and her date tonight is Little Penny. Little Penny. Who do you think paid for the tickets tonight, Chuck?
On the cover of GQ. It's a rare occurrence.
No question that Little Penny rooting for the Orlando Magic tonight. Take a 2-point lead. Here's the trap. A little three-quarter trap. And Mason hopes brings it across. Grant, though, however, knocks the pass away. And here comes the 2-on-1. And Hardaway from D.Scott. And it's a 19-15 game, using their quickness and pressure against the Knicks.
This little trap that they're using is something a lot of teams are using against the Knicks to try to keep them out of their end. But sometimes you've got to pay a price, particularly in the deep corner. And
Hubert Davis, who had been the starter at shooting guard before he got hurt, and then John Starks came back in. Under 2 minutes to go in the first. H.Grant fouled as he gets the basket.
Here's a steal by Koncak, gets it quickly out to half court, and then a quick lob to Penny, who scores the dunk. You've got to go back to your regular man-to-man defense.
Brian Shaw in the game, and he's guarding Hubert Davis. Scott working against Mason, trying to post him up, and does effectively. Anthony Mason, who had impact.
Yes, he's done a good job. He bodies him, keeps a hand up, and they've been unable to get to a double team. Haven't tried it because he's been able to stay with him.
Brian Shaw has it knocked away, and goaltending called against Ewing. And he's off the mark, batted out. And a behind-the-back pass by Hardaway. Shaw has Scott. Scott inside the three-point arc. Hits the shot to give the Magic a 25-19 lead.
Said, make the cut hard, I'll get you the ball, which he didn't do.
12 on the shot clock. Hardaway from the corner. Penny Hardaway. And
moving people, and it's hurt the Knicks a little bit. The Knicks need to get into some kind of rhythm. The only weapon they've had is Mason.
Mason underneath as Knicks to within 4 points. So the Knicks are on a 6-0 run of their own. Here is Grant wide open at the foul line, passed up the shot, and Bowie hits his second since coming in. Interesting, as Ward misses a three, Mason keeps it alive. He has kept the Knicks in the game so far.
Very tough matchup for Scott down on the post. Somebody's going to have to come and help, which is going to allow Reed a wide open shot.
And Reed has delivered.
He'll come back and necessarily have a great game tonight. He'll get back into the game, and he'll get into some.
Grant makes both free throws. 30 Knicks go back to work down by 8.
And the Magic are making this a pace game. They're trapping, making the Knicks work hard as they did there.
And Grant from Bowie lays it in, and a foul as well. And taking advantage of the Knicks.
Here they trap and actually steal the ball. Watch this touch pass. Bowie back quickly. Easy basket. Picks otherwise going back, and there's a good chance that he could be even here in New York.
Philly's here as well.
He used to be.
Let's not forget Chuck. No, Chuck. They flock to you when you come onto the floor. I've seen it. Grant with a high arcing shot over Patrick Ewing. Boy, I'll tell you that.
Respective clubs.
And they are scurrying to get it on right now, Chuck.
I put a little pressure on him.
Yep. Hardaway finds Anderson, and Nick Anderson hits another three. Knicks needed Oakley back. Ewing gets a hand on it, tapped away, and as a result, a turnover. Here comes Anthony Mason. With 1:10 to go, Oakley from the corner hits, and the Knicks have come within 10. This is from the top, and the rebound by Starks. So Starks, Ewing, Mason, Oakley, and Harper. Mason finds an opening and lays it in. The basket counts and a foul as Anthony Mason with 10 points. And this is the, sorry, Chuck.
They kind of went to a trap, and no one picked him up when he just had a terrific lane to the basket.
I'm stunned. I interrupted you. I'm stunned because that's the first
lane to open up for the big guys, Mason and Oakley, and they're making the magic pay.
Stark spinning his way in, has a rejected by Horace Grant. And here comes shots inside tonight. Nick Anderson with Dennis Scott, Koncak, Horace Grant, and Penny Hardaway for the Orlando Magic. Grant throws up an air ball, but Hardaway is there to clean up after him. And the Magic lead. Knicks coming in a game behind Indiana in the battle for third place in the Eastern Conference. They both have the same amount of defeats, 29. Mason with a Turner fall-away hits, and it's out of 14 on the road. They won 5 straight away from O Arena. This is a big test for them without Shaq. Scott hits a three. So Dennis Scott now with his second from downtown with 10 points. Harper in the perimeter gets it low. Koncak is guarding Mason on a switch by Brian Hill, and it's not going to bother Anthony Mason.
Koncak, you'll see him catch the ball in the post. Quickly he beats him in the lane. Koncak's going to swipe at the ball, but catches him across the arm, and in the continuation aspect of it, Mason scores the basket going to the free throw line.
So Mason is the only Knick to go to the line tonight. He is 2 for 2. It's happened again here in the third. Mason misses the reverse layup with a fine move to the baseline. Here's Horace Grant over Ewing, and that's the second time tonight Grant has had an arc one high, open a factor since he picked up that foul. Magic, however, leading by 2. Mason has it knocked away by Grant.
At that time, not very good odds.
Harper takes an ill-advised shot, and here's a looper to Hardaway. Starks is back with him. Here's Grant filling the lane, lays it in. Horace Grant from Penny Hardaway, and the Magic no factor tonight for the New York Knicks, knowing he doesn't have to face Shaquille O'Neal, but Ewing is not there. Grant hits, and the Knicks want a timeout. As
Scott rebounding the basketball in the paint. Quick, long outlet to Penny Hardaway, who stops, catches, starts to work back in the lane, catches Horace Grant coming to the outside. Grant makes a tough shot there, up balanced, and makes it. Here, watch this pass. Nicely done. Puts it on the floor so Grant can pick it up rather than trying to make it work and be deflected.
Cleveland over the Lakers, who lost to Charlotte last night on TNT by 9. Detroit trying to bounce. Sports tonight with Fred Hickman and Paul Crane at 11 p.m. Eastern. 1 out of 2 for Anthony Mason. Koncak with a runner. Batted out by the Knicks to Anderson. Double team on Anderson. Here's Grant, and he hits. Horace Grant continues his sizzling shooting from the field. Koncak the rebound. Patrick Ewing. Now 1 for 12 from the field. And started the first 23 games when Shaq was out of there, and the Magic had an impressive record. Anderson hit that last 3. Here is Harper, and he gets a 3-point basket. Some good ball movement, and Anderson with a runner short off the front rim. Pass from Oakley, picked off by Scott into the hands of Hardaway. Scott hits a 3. Dennis Scott 4 to get to 70. I think they're going to make it. Scott from Hardaway. D.Scott hits, and he had Harper's hand in his face. Hardaway trying to get it into contact, fighting, loses it. Hubert Davis in the game. Starks and Davis, and Starks throws the ball away into the hands of Penny Hardaway.
And what a great defensive play, Hardaway.
They're playing without Shaquille O'Neal, missing this game and another, perhaps due to the death of his maternal grandmother. Mason with a second shot converts. Where would the Knicks be without Mason and Oakley tonight? Shaw with 10 on the shot clock. Grant wide open. Scott in the corner. Hits the three. That's his 5th of the game. Herb Williams starting at center. Ewing on the bench. Never got anything from him. Wolf with 1 second. Gets it. It counts. It can be done. The lob was actually the shot.
Middle. And right now, the Knicks have really got to make a move.
Shaw with 10 points. He has been in a scoring drought lately from the bench, but a great baseline move by Mason. Under 8 minutes to go. 83-70. 13-point lead. Biggest lead for the Magic is 14. Knicks came back to tie it from there. Hubert Davis hits a three. That's his first illegal defense call.
There's Mason working. He gets the ball out to Davis behind the line. And that's the one guy you cannot leave. Somehow you've got to stay with him. Don't.
Hardaway back in the game. So all the cast of characters back in pick and roll. Horace Grant, good pass inside to Hardaway. Great pass from Horace Grant, and it's 85-73 Orlando.
Be aware they're coming to get you right now. Get rid of the ball. Back to you.
All right, Kevin, thank you very much. Horace Grant hits from the perimeter. Grant now with 23 points on the road. That's a franchise record that they've got already with 5. They have indeed gotten better away from home in the second half of this year. Here's Grant again, and he hits again. A 2-point shot by Horace Grant.
Rebounding part of that sequence and came up with a little bit of a bad back, but doesn't look like it right there.
Tipped away, loose ball. Anderson saves it. Here's Grant. Boy, Grant is out of sight shooting from the field. He is now 91-80. 12 for 18 from the field is Horace Grant. 11-point lead and another turnover has been called on Anthony Mason. So between the two of them, Starks
Fortunately gets the ball back with some chance to use some more time on the clock.
Here is Scott to Grant. Reverse layup is good. Grant now with a season's high of 29 points. Showed no emotion against the Magic. And tonight, without Shaquille O'Neal, the Knicks really haven't shown that much more except for spurts during the game.
Well,
Ewing still can't get one in. Patrick Ewing limps coming up court now, 1 for 14. And Hardaway to Nick Anderson. And on Shaquille O'Neal. And winning going away over the New York Knicks. Well, if Horace Grant could only shoot lately, Horace, you got to get out of that shooting slump and really start to find the rim a little bit, huh?
Well, you know, I felt it tonight. You know, it seems like I was shooting the ball in the ocean.
13 for 19 and a season's high 29 points. But I want to ask you first off, how satisfying a win is this without Shaq against the Knicks on the road where you've now won 6 in a row?
Well, I like to say that, you know, our sympathy goes out to Shaq and his family. And, I mean, it's a very satisfying win. You know, it just shows you what type of character that this team has.
the challenge of playing in a game like this when you, in fact, don't have Shaquille O'Neal. Well, you know, you did it for 26 games early in the year, and now you had to do it again. Did you pick up on that rhythm? Did you talk about it, think about it?
Well, we talked about it. We talked about it that we went like 17-4, 17-5 without Shaq, and you know, we knew that every guy on the floor had to step up, and we did it.
What about your health situation? That's always a question that people will say into the playoffs. How are you physically as you get set for the stretch run and then the postseason?
Well, other than my wrist, I'm fine. You know, it got a little sore tonight for shooting 19 shots, so but I'm okay.
Yeah, you looked all great. We're going to take a look at some of your shooting. You have been on an incredible tear. You're shooting like 58% in the last 6 games and picking up the slack the way you did tonight in this game. But don't you love to hear people talk about you guys against Chicago. I know that you, when you the look on your face when you heard John talk about the Bulls, you want all the attention on them getting the 70 wins. Quietly, you like to sneak up, wouldn't you?
Well, it's great being the underdog, and all the attention is on the Bulls right now, and it feels great.
You know, you ought to go back and look at this tape because you made 2 shots tonight when you had a very high-arcing shot. And over the years, I've watched you. When you have that arc, a lot of times you hit a lot of shots. You consciously know you do that?
No, not at all. You know, Patrick was coming at me, and he's 7 foot, so I had to get the ball over his hand. So I'm going to take your advice. I'm going to look at this film.
Take a look and try it. Fool around with it.
Always take Chuck's advice. You feel you're all peaking at the right time now, the way you've played since the break.
We're starting to get in our groove right now, and we're playing great defense. And as Chuck knows, that defense wins championships, and we've been playing that of lately.
Practice that shooting, Horace, really.
I will. You know, I'm struggling right now.
Horace Grant shooting the lights out at 13 for 19 and a season-high 29. We'll be